SSDI $1,400 fourth stimulus check update. Social Security disability. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. Alright, now this remains a very important question that I get literally every single day, including what about SSDI? What about SSI? What about Social Security? What about seniors? What about people with disabilities? Is there another check? Will there be another check? How much will the next check be? When are we going to get another check? And a whole variety of other questions just like that. And that's what I want to focus on here in the video, as all of these are very good questions. And I do know that a lot of you here in the community are wondering, when are we finally going to get some kind of relief? I need money right away. Hey, I totally hear you there. And that's what I want to talk about here in this video. Bring up to speed as far as what's going on here and what's going on with a $1,400 stimulus check. And again, I wanted to focus specifically in this video on SSDI. However, to be completely fair, everything we're going to talk about right here in this video also pertains to virtually all fixed income beneficiaries. But since I get so many comments coming in saying, what about SSDI? You never talk specifically about SSDI. I do talk about SSDI in some videos, but again, I want to make this dedicated one for you right here, so let's get right into it. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and because I am your one and only daily advocate, I'm here for you right by your side each and every day, doing all the necessary research and watching all this new information hitting the wire, breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay updated with what is actually going on, as my dedication is to bring you the honest, accurate, reliable, and transparent information in these videos every single day. That's my dedication, and as always, I'm sticking to it. So again, thanks so much for joining me. I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. I know it's a tough time out there, and I want to be here for you as much as I possibly can. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get into it and talk about what's going on here with a $1,400 stimulus check, or any stimulus check for that matter, in any dollar amount, and how does it actually pertain to the low income and again fixed income beneficiaries. So let's get into it and talk about what's going on. Now recently, yes, of course, more things have been coming out. In fact, if you've been watching the videos here on the channel for any length of time now, it is literally every single day. You can't even imagine or can't even believe half the stuff that comes out. I mean, seriously, every day I think, what am I going to see today? What's going to be announced today? What is going to be hitting the wire today? Literally, I couldn't even guess what's going to happen tomorrow, as things are changing so fast, and honestly, a lot of weird stuff. Like, I can't even predict half the things that are going to happen, because it's like, wouldn't have guessed that one in a million years. You know what I mean? So a lot of weird stuff, which again is why I'm following everything closely and bringing it to you here in these short videos. So as we all obviously know, inflation is still very, very high right now. We've seen from a lot of reports coming out recently that a lot of people are going into a lot of debt right now because of why? Well, because nobody has any money, not because we're out buying cool things and having a bunch of fun. That has nothing to do with it. In fact, most people are not doing those things, but rather most people simply do not have money. And when it comes down to fixed income beneficiaries, it's the same old thing we've been talking about for a very long time now, which is it's just getting harder and harder and harder because inflation continues to rise. Inflation is still very high. Specific products around out there right now, like a lot of grocery items, are up huge in price, even though nobody's talking about that. I've been talking about it for a while now, but a lot of things are still going up in price, and we continue to see the purchasing power of your dollars as a fixed income beneficiary continue to deplete. In other words, what you could buy a year ago, what you could buy 6 months ago with, say, $1,000 or $800 or $900, whatever it happens to be, what you could buy a year ago or 6 months ago or even a month ago is getting less, right? You're getting less and less items in your basket when you go to the store with the same dollars, right? That's what's called depletion of purchasing power. Well, we all know this because we're all living it, right? Well, as a result of that, we all completely understand that more money needs to be distributed, especially for the low income and fixed income. Everybody else, well, who knows about them, right? Let's just focus on the fixed income and the low income. These are the categories and the groups of people that we always need to talk about and focus on, as I always do here in these videos. But when it comes down to it, to answer those questions for those of you that are coming in and asking, what about SSDI? What about another check? What's happening all here? What's going on? So let me throw this out there right away. As of right now, a fourth stimulus check has not been approved yet, okay? I want to make that very clear. I don't want to be here to say, it's coming, it's going to be coming tomorrow, things like that. I am not saying that right now at all. In fact, it's not coming tomorrow, okay? Just being totally fair with you. But again, no stimulus check has been approved at this point. But I do want to talk about the details of this because we got to watch a lot of different things that are going on right now because things are changing rapidly. And we do know that there's going to be a lot of other changes going forward as well. So here's a few things that I want to point out to you again that we need to watch very closely going forward over the coming days, weeks, and months. And again, another check is going to be predicated on all of this information that I'm going to point out for you right here, right now. Now, again, I'm not going to go into a ton of detail on all these. I got a lot of different points here that I want to direct to. So I'm not going to go into a ton of detail, but I want to point out a bunch of different things here that we've got to watch very closely going forward, okay? And again, another check or multiple checks or monthly checks or anything like this is going to be predicated on these factors. All right, so number one, the new Congress. I mean, this is a super obvious one, but we've got to watch Congress. Why do we care about Congress so much? Unfortunately, it's a group of a few hundred people, and they make the calls on virtually everything for us. Can you imagine that? I still just feel like, you got to be kidding me. A few hundred people, right? That's all it really comes down to. Less than 500 people make basically all the decisions for us. Seems kind of weird, right? Yeah, but that's the matter of the situation. So anyway, the new Congress is something we got to watch closely. Now again, something else I've seen coming in a lot lately as well, which by the way, I'm not taking political sides here at all, but I've seen some comments coming in saying, with the mixed divided government and, Republicans controlling the House and Democrats in the Senate, we're not going to get anything done. I wouldn't say that. I really wouldn't say that, okay? I know it's going to seem like there's going to be a lot of drama, and don't get me wrong, there's going to be a lot of drama. We know that. But what happened in early 2020, late 2020, early 2021 is lawmakers actually did kind of work together to get checks out to the people. So again, just want to be totally fair, and I'm not taking sides politically. I'm just simply saying, sometimes when they know that a situation is happening, they actually do come and they actually do a little bit. I know it's not very often, but every so often they do come together and actually work on a common goal, which, it's not all that often. But anyway, so let's just keep an eye on that. But the new Congress is certainly something we've got to watch very closely. We'll have to see what they have up their sleeve and everything that they want to get accomplished here over the next couple of years, essentially, right? So, but obviously, we need checks much sooner than the next couple of years here. But either way, we'll have to continue watching them over the coming days, weeks, and, of course, the next couple months here. Anyway, so keep that on your radar as well. I'm watching that one very closely. Next, we're going to need to continue watching the Federal Reserve very, very closely. Now, again, I know that I talk about this every so often in some of the videos, but seriously, this is a very, very important one because here's the thing. The situation is basically being sculpted by the Federal Reserve, okay? So everything that's going on with the economy right now, pretty much the Federal Reserve is the, kind of like the wizard shaking the wand and saying, okay, economy, you do this. Economy, you do that. They have virtually the wand that does that, and they do it through their interest rate policy. In other words, continuously raising interest rates, trying to bring down inflation, or possibly pivoting and possibly cutting interest rates. Again, all this is going to be very important when it comes down to the economy as well. Now next, we've got to watch jobs, the job market, the unemployment rate, all of these things as well. And again, we need to watch this closely because all of this is directly related to the work and what the Federal Reserve is doing. As the Federal Reserve continues to raise interest rates, guess what's going to happen? The economy is going to contract more and more jobs are going to be lost. More people are going to be let go from their positions. There's going to be more furloughed people. There's going to be people who straight up let go from the job. And again, I do not want that to happen. I'm simply telling you, this is the fact of the matter, and we know it because this is what happens during economic contractions is that a lot of people are, let go from their jobs, unfortunately. And we've already been seeing it for many, many months now. We've been seeing a lot of these big corporations, big businesses, medium businesses, letting go thousands and thousands of people, right? So a lot of these big ones. What about all the small ones out there that are letting go, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 people, something like that? You don't hear about those, but you hear about the big ones, hundreds or thousands of people going. So, okay, we got to watch that also very closely and watch what's going on with the unemployment rate. It's going to go higher. It's just how high is it going to go? That's a good question, and that's something we got to watch very closely going forward. So that's another one that I want to point out as well. Next, we need to continue watching this inflation. Now, again, I'm going to throw this out there. Inflation, it probably isn't all that important when it comes down to it, because here's the thing. If the economy falls off a cliff and it's a kind of a bad, ugly situation, inflation will be the least of their worries. They won't care about inflation. They will step up and do whatever they possibly need to bring the economy back. And if that means printing a bunch of money and sending it out in the form of stimulus checks or anything else like that, they'll do it. At that point, they won't care about inflation. The only reason they're acting like they care so much about inflation right now is because everything is fine. You know what I mean? Everything, for the most part, is still kind of good as far as the economy goes. That's what I'm talking about, is the economy. That's mostly what they care about. Again, just being fair with you and talking about and giving you the transparency of what they actually focus on. They mostly just focus on the economy. But since things are still kind of fine right now, until things get really bad, they're going to continue to pretend like they care about this inflation. But you just watch this. Inflation could still be sitting at 7%, 6%, 5%, whatever it happens to be. It could be sitting at one of these high inflated levels. And if things got bad fast, the last thing you're going to see is them worried about inflation. They're going to say, all right, what do we got to do to bring this economy back? That's what they're going to focus on. And inflation will be an old story. At that point, they won't care what's going to go on with inflation. They'd be happy to bring it up again. It doesn't matter. So I'm saying we got to watch inflation, but at the same time, it's not going to be all that important. What we've got to watch closely is jobs. We'll have to watch that one very closely. And again, it's one of these factors, it's one of these economic data points that you got to watch closely, because as jobs are being lost, as the unemployment rate is rising, all of a sudden these politicians, the administration, the Federal Reserve, all these people start to kind of shake their head and get to start panicking a little bit and thinking, uh-oh, this isn't good. People are losing their jobs. Now what? And we know this much. When jobs are lost, that simply means people are spending less money. There's less money circling around the economy. The economy is going to contract more. Businesses are going to lay more people off because there's less revenues and profits coming in. It's a big, vicious cycle that keeps going round and round until we get pulled out of the cycle by the Federal Reserve printing money. Hundreds of billions or trillions of dollars and pushing it out. And again, where does the money go? It goes into our bank accounts, into our pockets. We are directed by them to spend it. And where does the money go from there? It goes into the businesses. They build up profits and revenues. They hire more people. The unemployment rate goes down. And the cycle repeats itself. You know what I mean? It's the same old thing. We've seen it happen time and time again for decades. They do the same old thing. So anyway, I wanted to point that out for you. But this is kind of a brief synopsis of different things that I'm watching out there right now and what it all means when it comes down to the current situation that we're dealing with, the economic data, as well as inflation, the Federal Reserve, their interest rate policy, the job market, the unemployment rate, and of course, additional money in the form of stimulus checks, things like this. When the economy gets really bad, the reason that they send out stimulus checks is to stimulate the economy. They've done it every single time over the last 22 or so years. Every recession that we've gone into, the 2000-2001 recession from the dot-com bubble, the 2008-2009 from the housing bust, the 2020 bust from COVID, and the next one. They've all produced stimulus checks. Why would this one be any different? It's not going to be different. The reason for it is they use us, the people, as the proxy to get money into the economy, okay? That's why they call it a stimulus check. Is because they want to help us? No, it's not because they want to help us. It's because they want to stimulate the economy, and they know that if they give us money, we will spend it. What a better way to do it than that, right? Give the people money and tell them to spend it, and we know that they will, and all of a sudden they've just gave a huge injection of about hundreds of billions of dollars of stimulus into the economy immediately, super fast, right? So what a nice little program, right? So anyway, I hope this one kind of helps you out to better understand what's going on right now. Of course, you don't need to watch all this stuff. I'm watching it all for you, which is why I'm doing the research all day, every single day, and why I'm bringing it to you in these short videos each day. I'm watching all this stuff and bringing it to you. So again, there's a lot of updates, but for those of you out there that are living on a fixed income, again, SSDI, SSI, Social Security, VA, seniors, older adults, people with disabilities, all the questions I ask, that I saw and that I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this video, I hope this one answers it for you and gives you a better perspective on the whole situation that is happening right now. I know there's a lot of stuff going on. It's confusing, but again, that's why I'm watching it and bringing you those details here in the videos. So again, if you haven't done so, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss any videos going forward. It's a very fluid situation right now. Things are changing rapidly, and like I said, with this new Congress, there's going to be some interesting things coming out. Not only anything potentially stimulus related, but what about Social Security and all these fixed income benefits, SSDI, SSI, VA, and anything else out there coming up that may be potentially on the table for some reform or raises to benefits, increases to benefits, anything like that. Of course, I'm going to watch all of it closely. Anyway, hope you're doing well. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands and thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, have a good one. Enjoy your day, and I'll catch you again later.